Hi, everybody. I'm Brittany Lewis, a breaking news reporter here at Forbes. Joining me now is Kelsey Wilson, founder and CEO of BlackLines Financial. Kelsey, thank you so much for joining me.
Of course, of course. Thanks for having me.
I really want to talk about where we are right now with President Trump's tariff plan and the volatility that it's caused. President Trump said on Friday that there will unlikely be another 90-day tariff pause, and it seems that he and the White House are in full-out deal-making mode with other countries. But over the past few weeks, since he announced his tariff plan, global markets have been roiled, and the word that can really characterize the moment that we are in is a moment filled with uncertainty. As a financial planner, what are your thoughts on this uncertain moment?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely uncertainty really wraps and really tells the story of really what's happening right now. So when we think about this moment and thinks about this moment of time, this uncertainty does really cause what we call the fear side of things. So when we have uncertainty, it produces fear and then emotional responses around fear. So at the end of the day, it really is important to really know where we're at. And when it comes to where we're at the end of the day is we're in a space where tariffs are changing the landscape of what's happening in the economy. So as that landscape is shifted, it's going to be very, very important for executives at companies, which will be able to look at what's happening and get to a place back to profitability as these uncertain things are happening. So with that happening, with these landscapes changing, I'm pretty confident that executives will be able to navigate these new landscapes, navigate these new tariffs, and come back on top just like they've done over the past pretty much hundreds and hundreds of years around the market.
Like you said, with the uncertainty comes fear. How does a business owner first, let's talk about business owners first. What would you recommend that they do to really navigate this time full of uncertainty?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with that is really being informed, staying informed on what's happening, because essentially what's happening is there is that landscape shift, and there's going to be things that didn't make sense for a business owner to do last year that make a lot of sense to do this year, and vice versa. Things that they did last year doesn't make sense to do this year. So it's really important to stay informed, stay really tight with your financial plan, and making sure that you're staying on top of that and updating things accordingly. So that way, as things adjust with the new landscape of tariffs, your financial plan and your strategies are also adjusting along with it.
When you're looking at your financial plan, what's at least one thing you would say didn't make sense to do last year, but now, in light of this uncertain tariff time, would make sense to do this year?
Yeah, that's a really great question. And when it comes to business owners, a lot of business owners are maybe taking hits when it comes to the tariffs. Maybe their structures may have changed and their profitability might be a little bit lower this year. So if their profitability is a little bit lower with these current times, it may make sense to evaluate their tax strategy. And with that being said, maybe they have some pre-tax dollars in different retirement structures that may make sense to look into converting those over to post-tax strategies. On that end, being the fact that the landscape is changing, they may be taking a little bit of pause on higher profits like they were doing last year and kind of moving things around to kind of make sure that they're taking advantage of these adjustments. So that way, when they get back to a level of profitability, they pretty much move the musical chairs around into the right spots. So that way they can continuously grow on their financial journey.